Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. It is Saturday, January 17th, and in this video, we're going to be going over the best plays over on PrizePicks for tonight's 9-game NBA slate. First off, I want to apologize for not putting out a daily pick video yesterday, so I hope everybody crushed Friday. If you guys are new to the channel, in these daily pick videos, I build out 6 flex slips over on PrizePicks, and then we also head over to Betr and we build out 5 flex slips over on Betr. And the reason we take 6 flex slips on PrizePicks and 5 flex slips on Betr is that those are the 2 best slip types on each of those DFS apps. So if you are new to the channel, if you want to learn about PrizePicks and Betr and how to actually navigate and find long-term profitable plays when betting on both of those apps, go ahead and hit that subscribe button if you haven't done so already. If this video does get 50 likes, I will be doing a $50 giveaway in my next video. So go ahead and hit that like button. And then to be entered into that giveaway, if we do get 50 likes, go ahead and comment your favorite play on tonight's or for tonight's 9-game NBA slate. We're going to be utilizing a tool called the Upside Tools Fantasy Player Prop Optimizer to help us find long-term profitable value on PrizePicks in real time. And we do this because PrizePicks is a fixed payout platform. So we'll talk about that in a minute. If you guys want to check out Upside, there is a link in the description below. You can also use my code TJYT to get 25% off your first purchase. That link in the description will also get you a 5-day free trial. So you can come sign up, try out the tools over at Upside, get 5 days free if you click the link or use the link below. And then if you also use code TJYT at checkout, you'll get 25% off your first purchase. If you go through your 5 days, you enjoy the tools that we have inside our Plus EV plan package, and you'll get 25% off. We're going to be using the Fantasy Player Props Optimizer during this video, but we also have our esports discrepancy tool. We have sportsbook tools for game lines with a game line optimizer, a player prop optimizer, a low hold tool, an arbitrage tool, and we have a bunch of other things that are also coming down the line. So again, if you guys want to check it out, link in the description below. Let's go ahead and talk about the 9 games that we have on tap here. Starting at the top, we have the Atlanta Hawks and the Boston Celtics. Celtics, 3.5-point road favorites. We got a 229.5 over under. We have the Mavs hosting the Jazz. Dallas, 3.5-point home favorites. 241.5 over under. Pretty high over under there. We have the Pistons and the Pacers. Detroit, 12.5-point home favorites. 227.5 over under. We have the Knicks hosting the Suns. Knicks, 3.5-point home favorites. 225.5 over under. We have the Heat hosting the Thunder. OKC 10.5-point road favorites, 233.5 over under. We have the Spurs hosting the Timberwolves. Spurs 5.5-point home favorites, 228.5 over under. We have Golden State hosting the Charlotte Hornets. Golden State 7.5-point home favorites, 234.5 over under. We have the Nuggets hosting the Wizards. Denver 12.5-point home favorites, 231.5 over under. And then we have Portland Trailblazers hosting the Lakers. Portland 3.5-point home favorites, 223.5 over under. So I mentioned that Upside and the tool that we have, the Fantasy Player Prop Optimizer, is used to compare sportsbook lines and odds back to various DFS apps that use fixed payouts. Now, again, this is my channel. What I want to do is try to educate you guys on why you should be taking specific plays on PrizePicks. So if you're here just trying to get 2-man powers and goblins and demons that half the people on YouTube feed you, this isn't the page for you. So if you've watched to this point and you don't want to actually learn about how to make educated player props and take educated player props on PrizePicks, you might want to close out now. But if you actually want to learn what you're doing on PrizePicks, then give me your attention for 2 minutes, and then we're going to get into the plays, and you'll know why we're taking those plays. So PrizePicks is a fixed payout platform. So if I go to the NBA tab, what that means is that it doesn't matter if we're taking more or less on any of these player prop projections, our payout always remains the same. So right here we have Jusuf Nurkic, 28.5 PRA. We can take his more or his less. Jaylen Brown, PRA of 44.5. We can take his more or less. So if I take Nurkic and I take Jaylen Brown and I play them both on more, in a typical 2-man power on PrizePicks, we always get a 3 times payout. So we can see here that I have Nurk and Brown both over their PRAs. I'm getting a 3 times payout. So if I do $1, I get $3 in return. That means I get $2 in profit if I go 2 for 2 in this 2-man power. If I take Nurkic and I change him from more to less, my payout doesn't shift. It stays the same. I get a 3 times power. If I take Jaylen Brown and I change him from more to less, nothing changes. So on a traditional sports book like FanDuel or DraftKings, if you take more or less on a player prop, they actually have set odds on each of those ways. So on the over, there will be a set odd, and on the under, there will be a set odd. Depending on what you're taking on a traditional sports book, your payout shifts. But over on PrizePicks, it stays the same. So because PrizePicks operates like this, we're able to utilize a tool like the optimizer to leverage the sports books and where they're setting their lines and odds and compare those directly back to PrizePicks to help us find long-term profitable plays. So in a two-man power, you don't see the odds that you're actually getting for each individual leg, but they're actually minus 137 odds because I'm getting my two-man power. If I risk $1, I get a 3 times return. I get $3 back. I get $2 in profit. My total parlay on a two-man power is plus 100 odds. So each individual leg is minus 137 odds. So that means I need to find player props that have a fair value of minus 137 or better to profit long-term when playing two-man powers on PrizePicks. So the reason we build out 6 flex slips in these daily videos, we only need minus 118 odds to profit long-term when playing those 6 flex slips on PrizePicks. So the 6 flex is infinitely better than playing a two-man. Sure, you can hit two-man powers at a higher rate than a 6 flex slip, but the ROI and the return that you're actually getting on your investment when you're playing 6 flex is far greater than a two-man power. In this strategy that we use, it's called plus EV betting or positive expected value. This is a line shopping tool. Again, this thing updates every single second. It shows you real value in real time by taking the sports books, comparing them back to PrizePicks, the fixed payout, to help us find those profitable plays. Everything you can possibly think of, injuries, rotations, game spreads, totals, over-unders, rotations, whatever, is baked into these sportsbook lines and odds. We remove the vig and the juice on the back end, and we show you the true value that these player props actually have when comparing the market back to PrizePicks. In building out 6 flex slips on PrizePicks, we need player props that have greater than a 54.2% chance to hit. In a two-man power, we're looking for 57.6%. So the 6 flex is infinitely better than two-man powers. So hopefully that makes sense to you guys. And if you're a little confused there, you can go ahead and leave a reply in the section below, in the comment section below. I'd love to help anybody that wants to learn a little bit more on PrizePicks and why they should be taking specific player props. But let's go back to the optimizer. Let's build out our 6 flex slip. Let's go ahead and give this a quick refresh. We're going to start with Miles McBride over 5.5 RA. We can see that FanDuel actually has this set one higher at 6.5. DraftKings, a direct match to PrizePicks at 5.5. They have this set at minus 140 on the over. Dabble actually has this 0.5 higher at 6. So we're getting really good value on Miles McBride over 5.5. All right. We're going to just move directly down the list, and then we're probably going to get rid of some push props. Let's get rid of some push props now. I'm going to go to my filters. I have required sportsbook set to FanDuel. FanDuel and DraftKings are the two sharpest when it comes to setting their NBA player props. So we are going to change hide push props. What that's going to do is remove plays like Alex Sarr under 10 rebounds, Cat under 14 RA, and only display player props that end in 0.5 so we don't have any push potential props. So I'm going to go ahead and remove that. Let's add in Andrew Wiggins over 1.5 3-pointers made. Again, minus 146 on DraftKings, minus 128 on FanDuel. We can see with the rest of these sports books and these DFS apps are currently listing this. It looks like this isn't available on Dabble, PickSix, or better. And again, we're getting this at minus 118 odds inside our 6 flex slip. So good value over here on PrizePicks. Let's take Andrew Wiggins over 1.5 3-pointers made. Andrew Wiggins, where are you? Over 1.5 3-pointers made. A ton of different player props here, and I don't see it. Am I blind? Am I blind? Am I blind? Am I blind? There it is. I'm blind. Sorry. Moving on down the list, we got Jaylen Brown under 13.5 RA. We have Jalen Brunson under 9.5 RA. We have Jimmy Butler under 5.5 rebounds. So let's get those 3 added. It was Jaylen Brown under 13.5 RA. It was Jalen Brunson. This actually pairs pretty nicely with our Miles McBride play too. We're taking Miles McBride over 5.5 RA with Jalen Brunson under 9.5 RA. So hopefully McBride's getting the RAs and Jalen Brunson isn't. And then we had Jimmy Butler under 5.5 rebounds. So we have 5 player props. Let's give this a quick refresh, see if anything popped up. And there we go. Quentin Post over 2.5 rebounds pairs very nicely with our Jimmy Butler under rebounds. Hopefully Quentin Post is getting rebounds and Jimmy Butler isn't. Guys, and just like that simple, that easy. Instead of going off things like last 5, gut and emotion, what you think somebody's going to do tonight, what they've done, in their last 20 games against that specific team or whatever. Leave your gut and emotions at the door. Trust the math, trust the data. I built out this slip in 30 seconds, right? So we have A 6 flex slip that I want you guys to tail on PrizePicks. It's Miles McBride over 5.5 RA, Andrew Wiggins over 1.5 3-pointers made, Jaylen Brown under 13.5 RA, Jalen Brunson under 9.5 RA, Jimmy Butler under 5.5 rebounds, and Quentin Post over 2.5 rebounds. If we go 6 for 6, we 25 times our money. If we go 5 for 6, we get a 2 times return, so we double our money. And then if we go 4 for 6, we get a 0.4 times return. So now what I want to do is actually check out the Betr board, because typically Betr has a lot better value than PrizePicks has. So I'm going to change my book up here from PrizePicks to Betr. Now we're going to see all the player props that Betr currently has on their board. And if we compare them directly to PrizePicks, a lot of these player props aren't even offered on PrizePicks, and they're at a worse number than what we're able to get over on Betr. So right here we have Drew Holiday under 9.5 RA. He's heavily juiced on the under on FanDuel, DraftKings, and PrizePicks actually has this over-under set at 9. So we're getting really good value taking his under 9.5. Also, the 5 flex is really good on Betr. It's the same exact as PrizePicks, but if you go 3 for 5, on PrizePicks, you get the 0.4 times return. On Betr, you get a 0.5 times return, which doesn't sound like a lot, but it actually is. So we have Drew Holiday under, what was that? Under 9.5? Under 9.5 RA. So we'll add that in there. We have Isaiah Collier under 11.5 RA. Again, PrizePicks has it at 11. FanDuel heavily juiced on the under. So we'll take Collier under 11.5 RA. Looks like this actually got bumped down to 10.5. So what I'm going to do here is refresh, and this is going to be gone because it's no longer offered. I guess it's still up there. Hold on, let me give this a quick refresh. This honestly could just be me. Oh, hang on. NBA. Collier. Nope. So that was me. Okay. So it still is up there. So that's my bad. I just had to refresh. So we have Isaiah Collier. We had Miles McBride that just Miles Bridges under assist that actually just flew to the top. So let's go ahead and get that added as well. Miles Bridges. Also, sorry, I can't type. My microphone's directly in front of my face, so I can't actually get to my keyboard very well when I do these. So Isaiah Collier did just get removed. His 11.5 got removed. We were getting too much of an edge, so Betr adjusted their line appropriately. So if I refresh this, Isaiah Collier will get removed. I think something's going on with Collier, to be honest with you. Let me check this really quickly, because this tool works the best in the industry right now. And I think that Collier, okay, so it is gone. Okay, so it is removed. Cool. So we have Drew Holiday. We have Miles Bridges. Let's add in Jaden McDaniels over 7.5 RA. Jaden McDaniels over 7.5 RA. We need 2 more player props here. We got Jake LaRavia under RA. Let's add in Cat under RA just because we have book support from FanDuel and DraftKings. So that's Cat under 14.5 RA. This is also up on the PrizePicks board at 14. So getting good value taking the under 14.5 over here on Betr. Let's give this one more refresh. We have Miles Bridges. We have Drew Holiday. Isaiah Collier just popped back up. Hold on. Let's see if we can get this locked in before it gets removed again. I'm going to refresh. I think that this happened to me yesterday with one player prop where they just kept adding and removing it back up to their board. So I think that I don't want to even play this because by the time I get this video posted, I don't know if you guys are going to be able to tail it. So Collier is back up at 11.5. It's a really good play. I'm going to remove it because I feel like it's going to get bumped down to 10.5 and then some of you won't be able to tail it. So we have Drew, we have Jaden. We're skipping over LaRavia. We have Miles Bridges, we have Cat. Let's go ahead and add in Bub Carrington under rebounds. Ooh, you know what? Here's what we're going to do. We are going to play Keyshawn George over rebounds with Bub Carrington under, and we're going to remove Karl Anthony Towns. So we're going to play Bub Carrington over because this pairs really nicely. Our Bub Carrington is an under rebounds of 4.5 with Keyshawn George over 4.5 rebounds. So hopefully Keyshawn George is getting the rebounds and Bub Carrington isn't. There's no payout shift for anything like that, so that's great. So $50 on a flex will get us a $500 return. Another better slip, plus EV, a long-term profitable slip by simply utilizing a tool that shows you the best plays in real time. We are now getting an edge over Betr playing these individual player props in a 5 flex. So we Drew Holiday under 9.5 RA, Miles Bridges under 3.5 assists, Jaden McDaniels over 7.5 RA, Bub Carrington under 4.5 rebounds, Keyshawn George over 4.5 rebounds. We're going to get that entered. Hopefully, we can hit one of these slips that we just entered. Hopefully the PrizePicks slip, we can 25 times our money. The better slip, we can 10 times our money. If you've made it this far, I greatly appreciate it. Hopefully you learned something in this video, and if not, hopefully you just took the plays. And if you aren't subscribed to the channel yet, if you could hit the subscribe button, that would be amazing. Also, make sure you turn on that notification bell, so whenever I do post this type of content and give out these daily picks and these slips, you can get them locked in before anything gets bumped or removed. And then make sure, if you haven't yet, throw a like on this video, because if we do get 50 likes, I will be giving a $50 giveaway in my next video. But guys, enjoy your weekend, enjoy your Saturday. I love you. Thank you for being here. Hopefully we catch one of these slips, and I'll see you on the next one.